I think. Let me just double check. Yeah. Everything is all good. All right. What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to the WarTidePodcast. Whenever, wherever, however you're watching this episode. Today we're going to be talking about, obviously the NCAA championship. Probably going to talk about, I don't get a lot of Auburn talk. So I'm going to talk about what winning the NIT means for Auburn. We're probably going to talk about some early playoff predictions for the NBA. But before we do any of that, I just want to give you the word of the day. And today it is Matthew, I think 26. Yeah, Matthew 26, verse 40. Then he returned to his disciples and found them sleeping. "Couldn't you men watch with me for 1 hour?" he asked Peter. "Watch and pray so that you will not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak." And so the context was Jesus was praying in this hour, and all of his disciples had fallen asleep. And what was it, I don't know. I don't want to say funny, like mocking, but like I always find these like things like ironic. And the first thing he says was, "Could you guys not stay with me for one singular hour? Could you not stay with me and pray for 1 hour?" And that's all he asked, is 1 hour. And when I read that, it kind of put me in perspective of I drive an hour to work every day, and then I drive an hour back. So what is 1 hour, right? If I'm just praying for that 1 hour there and that 1 hour back, that's 2 hours a day. And to me, that just says, whatever you're doing, you could always do more. There's always more you could do. And the question was, you couldn't just give me this one singular hour. You couldn't dedicate 1 hour of prayer to me. And that's just something I think, each and every one of us should think about every single day is, that's all he's asking for. It's just this certain amount of time, right? And everybody's different. God could be asking Garrett for 30 minutes. God could be asking me for 2 hours. God could be asking you, the viewer on the other side of the screen, for 5 minutes. So could you not just give that to him? So don't want to go too deep into that, but that one kind of stuck out to me this week. Just wanted to bring it up. So with that being said, we can get straight into it. Obviously, first thing we're going to talk about is the NCAA champions, the Michigan Wolverine. Even with, the Yaxel Lindenborg injury, he did play, but, obviously didn't look his best. They still kind of had control the whole game. There was never really a point I thought that Michigan was super worried. So I think that kind of just speaks to how good this team was all year long. That's just my initial thoughts. Garrett, what are your initial thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I agree with you. It never felt like at any point like Michigan didn't have control of the game. Like, they were clearly the best team in the tournament throughout the whole entire tournament. The way they handled their business in the first 2 rounds, they handled their business versus Alabama even after a rough first half. They dominated Arizona from start to finish, and then they dominated UConn pretty much the whole game. Maybe not dominant, that's a little disrespectful to UConn. They did put up a good fight, but they controlled the game the whole way. Look, Dusty Mays is a fantastic coach. I don't have to convince anyone of that now. From his time at Louisiana Tech, what he did there, multiple 20-win seasons, multiple tournament berths, to what he did at FAU. Obviously, we know he made the Final Four at FAU, and then now Michigan, 8-24. The season before he got there, 2 seasons later, he's won a national championship. Incredibly impressive. What he's done in the transfer portal is insane. I think like all 5 of their starters came from the transfer portal or something crazy like that. That's just the new age of college sports. But I think one thing that really sticks out to me about this team is it didn't feel like there was this one main guy scoring wise. Like obviously Yaxel's the dude, he's the Big Ten player of the year. He was the best player on this team. But I think that's why even with Cadeau not playing his best because of his allergic reaction, even with Yaxel being hurt, like this team still functioned at an extremely high level, and it's because they didn't rely on any one guy for scoring. I think Yaxel, their leading scorer, averaged 14, which isn't bad, but that is not a lot. Like the most leading scorers on teams are averaging around or over 20. So I think that speaks a lot to just how well-rounded, just how well-functioning, how well-organized, how well this team plays as a team together. So I think that greatly contributed to them winning the championship game the way that they did on the path that they did. So incredibly impressive. Congratulations to Michigan. They deserve it. They were the best team. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I mean, this was a good team. I think UAB is going to put up a banner because I think they should. You know, it's you know, this their guy. That's UAB. That's a UAB product out there. Yaxel Lindenborg. So I was happy to see it. I was hoping Michigan would win. So, and you picked Michigan in your bracket. So congratulations to you. You picked the champion.
You know, I don't really want to speak too much about the bracket. I haven't looked at it since like Sweet 16, bro. I just completely turned out my bracket. But yeah, I've thought from the very jump, you know, in every single one of my brackets, I had Michigan winning. I thought from the very jump that they were the best team, that they've been the best team all year. And they just proved that to be, you know, true. They were dominant just about every single round. The closest game they had, I think, was against UConn. And even like we both agreed that they pretty much handled it from start to finish. Very happy for our guy Yaxel. Like you said, UAB product. Obviously, both of us living in the state of Alabama, we can both cheer for UAB. One of the only things that we can agree on. So we're both very happy for Yaxel. My brother's actually got a UAB poster of all the basketball players' autos on there, and Yaxel is on there, so that is pretty cool, I guess. Right, I really don't have too much to say about it. It kind of went just about as everyone expected. You know, Dan Hurley will be back. He's one of the best coaches in all of college basketball. Dusty May has put his name in that hat as much as Dan Hurley. He has had great success everywhere he's been. So we will see, you know, where this takes both of them. I'm very excited for both of their careers to continue. Two of the best in the game right now. And we will probably be seeing one of them in another championship game very soon. If I had to just, you know, take a wild guess.
I agree. I was about to say I would not be surprised if we see these two coach against each other in a Final Four or a national championship again. I mean, these are the two best in the game, in my opinion. Yeah, one other thing I'd like to say: Michigan shot 2 of 15 from the 3-point line. That's 13%. 13% from the line, from the 3-point line, and you won by, what is it? They won by like 8 and kind of controlled the whole entire game. And I know, like, immediately you point to the free throws. They shot 25 of 28 compared to 12 of 16. I don't really think the refs had a whole lot to do with this game. I just think Michigan forced their will the entire game. Like, the free throw numbers are way off, but I think it's just Michigan. They did exactly what they wanted to do. They wanted to get to the free throw line. They got to the free throw line pretty willingly. So I know a lot of people have a lot to say about the refs. I don't think they weren't perfect. No group of refs ever are. But I don't think it really had a whole lot to do with the outcome. Anytime you see, yeah, I think we had this conversation before. If your team loses and it was close and the refs made one bad call, you go to the comment section and everybody's blaming the refs, and that's just the easiest cop out ever for my team just did not play as good as your team. So I don't think the refs had a whole lot to do with this one. Michigan shot terrible from the 3-point line, but they wanted to get to the free throw line. They did get to the free throw line, and they dominated in that aspect, and they won the game because of it. So very well-rounded team. Very good for Michigan. And yeah, I do think we see these two coaches coach in a big stage like this one again because they're both young, and the sky's the limit for both of these guys. Especially, I mean, Dan Hurley, we know he's legit, and Dusty Mays, he's raised his hand and stepped into the room and said, "Yeah, I'm here. I am one of the elite coaches in college basketball, and he deserves it."
Yeah, speaking on the free throws, I mean, even if it was a controversial game, UConn shot 30% from the field overall.
Yeah.
You just can't do that and expect to win a championship game. So,
Yeah.
it was really just a physical game on both ends of the floor by Michigan. Played really good defense, got to the paint, drew the fouls when they needed to. So whether you agreed with all of the calls or not, you can't shoot 30% from the field overall as a team and expect to win the national championship. It's literally just that simple. So I thought it was really impressive how Michigan's defense played. And I really thought that was the key factor into winning the game, not the free throws.
Well,
Which that played a point, but
yeah, I mean, look, Michigan had less total turnovers. They had more steals. They had more blocks. So I agree with you. It was defensively, like that was the difference. Being disciplined on defense, not fouling in a game that the refs were calling a lot of fouls in. Every ref has their preference to what they call and what they don't, and they have things that specifically that they're looking for. I mean Michigan led the game over 75% of the game. So, you're able to get to the free throw line. You keep the other team off the 3-point line. You force them to take bad shots. You force turnovers. You get blocks. Like you're gonna win the basketball game pretty comfortably, which they did. So, right at Michigan.
I don't really have anything else on the game. Congrats, Michigan. That's about it.
Yeah, good for them.
I did just want to speak a little bit on the NIT. You don't have to give your thoughts if you don't want to, Garrett. I understand it's just the NIT. But from my perspective, as an Auburn fan, if you're an Auburn fan, I do want to say that winning the NIT is a good thing. Obviously, it's not where you wanted to be. Nobody wanted to play in the NIT. The players didn't want to play in the NIT. But I think that's why it is so good. The players didn't want to be there, and Coach Pearl got behind his guys and said, I don't care if you want to be here or not. We are here. So we are going to give it our best, and we're going to try to win every single game. Granted, it wasn't a difficult slate. You didn't have the toughest teams in the world. But at the end of the day, they won every game. They essentially dominated in every game without their starting center, who quit on the team because he didn't want to play in the NIT. I think it's a step in the right direction for Stephen Pearl, who had a rocky year with a subpar team, with a team that wasn't really good, with a team that never meshed well. And I think it was a huge step in the right direction for Stephen Pearl, setting himself up for success for the near future, for the lengthy future. And one thing I will say about the championship, Tulsa is no pushover. Tulsa had 8 losses this year, and Tulsa has won the last 2 NIT champions. So I do think it's kind of impressive, not totally impressive, but I think it's great momentum. You bring the energy in your program up. You got guys like Simon Walker, who has already announced he's returning. Guys like Kevin Overton, who had a huge game in the championship game. I think 25 points. Really a huge NIT tournament. Hit the game tying shot to send it to OT and hit an insane 30-footer in OT. So an extremely good guy to have coming back. You're gonna lose some guys like Filip Jovic entered the transfer portal. By the way, he was asking for $2 million. He averaged 6 points and 4 rebounds. I don't know who. Apparently, UCLA is willing to pay that to Filip Jovic because he signed today. But come on, bro, what are we doing? But even if we had nobody returning, right, and we had to start all over from scratch, and this was going to be Stephen Pearl's team next year, I think him going in as the first-year head coach with a top 5 toughest schedule in all of NCAA, playing in the SEC, I do think it's impressive that in his first year he found a way to win some form of tournament. I guess I said on the podcast, I'll be satisfied if we win. That's what I am. I'm satisfied. I'm not happy about it. I'm not sad about it. Just satisfied. It's good to see. I think it's a step in the right direction, and we'll see what we can build on from this.
Yeah, no, winning the NIT was good because losing the NIT was bad. So something has to be good, something has to be bad. It was good. Yeah, you beat everybody in front of you, and at the end of the year, you have a trophy. And I think more than anything, like nobody cares about the games you won, like the teams you beat, like Auburn should be beating. Let's be real. I think it just speaks more to the culture that he got the guys to buy in to compete in the NIT. That's the benefit. Overall, like a successful tournament. Like I think if you're an Auburn fan, you don't need to see it as a successful season because the standard's supposed to be higher. Maybe from a culture standpoint down the stretch, like you are, like consider that a success. The way he was able to hone it back in, fully agree. From a season standpoint, not what you wanted. You want to see back in the tournament. Obviously, like fast forward a year from now, and if you're in the same position, that's a bigger problem. I fully expect Auburn's probably gonna be in the tournament next year, the big tournament. I don't think you keep them out twice. I think there's just too much talent, but we'll see. I mean, there's still a long way to go. A year ago, we were talking about Auburn was this close to potentially winning a national championship, and we saw everything that happened last offseason that nobody could have foreseen, at least not me and you. So long offseason ago, I guess I'll kind of shift this talk to, I remember last episode you said that if Zahad were to return to college basketball, he would probably transfer. Do you have any kind of update on that at all?
The last I heard, which was I think yesterday, that things are trending upwards with Zahad. It's still up in the air, but I do think that if he were to return, Auburn still has a chance to get him. More so than I did when I said that.
All right, yeah. I think if I had to make a prediction right now, I think he's playing for Auburn next year. I don't know. We'll see. That's my prediction.
If I had to go off of gut feeling, I would agree.
I think like if you get offers, I don't think he's gonna get the NBA scout grade that he would need to draw him. No. And it's solely just because of his size, and it's a stat class. And
I think it's more of a stat class kind of thing. I think really where he was last year, his bar didn't really move, but because the draft class is so much better, his stock is gonna fall.
Yeah, right. So, and then when you're looking at offers, and the season ended the way it did, like winning the NIT and all that, if Auburn can give him a lucrative offer, which I think Auburn can match just about anything anyone else is going to give him, if they really wanted to. What's up?
Speaking on that, there was reports that Auburn is set to spend $13 million to assemble this basketball team.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean,
So I would agree that we can match just about whatever anybody's willing to offer to Hot Bedford.
Yeah, Auburn could definitely match. It's like, you ever seen the show growing up? Your parents ever watched the show Love It or List It?
What's it, the house show?
Yeah. Like, somebody remodels your house, and then somebody tries to find you a new one. And almost all the time they decide to love the house, like that they're already in.
Right.
Simply put, if you have a good offer, you're probably just going to rather stay where you're at. It's so much more convenient. So I think because of that, I think Dahad comes back for another year at Auburn. But I will say about the $13 million, if $13 million gets spent on this basketball team and they do not make the tournament next year, it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be really uncomfortable. But of course, we got to see how it goes. I think giving him $13 million is, you really look at how he puts a team together. Because I know one thing Kalen DeBoer has talked about is, like a lot of people say Alabama didn't do much in the portal, but he said like he was really harping on, we didn't go get much, but we made sure we didn't overspend for anybody who wasn't worth it. Making sure so I think that really, I think you'll really see, like, does he just go out there and just goes and gets guys and overspends and doesn't use the $13 million well, or does he go and spend $10 million, but he used it to the max? Like, I'd rather see him spend $10 million and spend it perfectly than you spend 13, but like just waste it on guys that really aren't deserved. For example, I forget who you said what his name was. $2 million, not worth it. Instantly the right call to not give him $2 million. So that's one step in the right direction.
Which I love Philippe. Philippe Jovic was a dog down the stretch. He definitely played important minutes. He definitely played big boy ball. But $2 million, I just don't think you can justify that. I do want to push back on one thing. You said you wouldn't call this a success of a season. I do think it's a minor success for the simple reasoning of, say we go into the NCAA tournament, right? We lose the first round. Does Dahad even have a chance of coming back? Does Kevin Overton come back? Does Elijah Freeman and some of these other guys, Austin Simmons, do these guys return? I do think from that aspect, roster retention, winning the IT was a success in that aspect. Because I think if we go into the NCAA tournament and lose first or second round, these guys that were predetermined in their mind gone, we're still going to leave. But since we went to the NIT and Stephen Pearl got these guys to buy in and be competitive, I guarantee you at the beginning of the tournament, half those guys were thinking to themselves, I'm out of here. What are we doing in the NIT? I hate this place. I hate Stephen Pearl. But I think he changed their mindset. He got them to buy in, and we won it all. And I think that changed some players' opinions on how they felt before it even started. So that would be my minor pushback. Obviously, it's not a success as a season as a whole, but I do think from that aspect in getting prepared for next year and roster retention, it is a minor success.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, hindsight, we'll have to see exactly how that turns out. Do you think the rain jacket had anything to do with, like, guys wanting to stay, or do you think maybe it was a turnoff? Like, what do you, like, the rain jacket had to do something?
I think the rain jacket, after a long time of thinking, I think the rain jacket came in because Kevin Overton simply just couldn't be stopped from three in the NIT. He was just letting it drain. It was raining out there for him. So I just think, Stephen Pearl had to be prepared for when Kevin Overton hopped on the court and he just had that raincoat on.
Being cautious. Fair enough. Being cautious. Hey, look, thinking ahead. Gotta give him where credit's due.
I know you didn't watch the NIT. I know you didn't. But did you at least see the clip of Kevin Overton shooting it from like 35 feet in the dude's face?
Nah, I
I'm
didn't
gonna
see.
send that to you. It was
It wasn't
definitely
on my
cold.
feed.
I
It
understand,
was.
but it was a
I
cold
believe
shot.
it.
It was a
I
cold
believe
shot.
it.
When I seen it,
Yeah.
even the announcer before he shot, he was like, "He's gonna shoot this." It was pretty
So
cold to me. Is all I'm gonna say.
I do have one question. So you said roster retention. A big I would say the talent wasn't an issue with this roster, but chemistry was. Is there any concern that yes, you're bringing all these guys back, but what if they don't gel? Come like the tough like Auburn's going to play a tough schedule next year. They do every year. Welcome to the SEC. What if like maybe you have some downs and the chemistry doesn't really bounce back like it did in the NIT? Is there any real concern over that?
The guys I think were causing problems will not be there next year.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I mean Keyshawn Hall.
I
He
think
played in the
Hall,
NIT, did he?
huh?
Hall played in the NIT, did he?
Yeah, he did. But I do think he was part of the problem. After what I saw from Keyshawn Murphy just quitting on the team, that leads me to believe that he might have been a locker room cancer.
Possibly.
Tahad, I'm shaky on Tahad. I don't think he's a cancer, but I also think that he's a winner at heart. I don't think he likes losing at all, and that might have ruffled some feathers to some other guys. Um, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's what I want for my point guard. But when you already got guys disagreeing, and you got Keyshawn Hall who wants the ball in his hands 24/7, and you got guys like Keyshawn Murphy who's willing to quit on the team when it doesn't go his way, and then you got Tahad Pettifer sitting there like, guys, what are we doing? I want to win. It just doesn't mesh well. So I think all of the main problems of that meshing will be gone. We will see though. Like I can't confirm anything, obviously. But me personally,
How
I'm not too concerned.
yeah. How big, like throughout this season, do you think, and this is a guy we both love, like even though he's an Auburn guy, I think I've been very vocal, like I love this guy. He's great, great energy, great teammate, great leader. How like how big of a difference would it have made to have a guy like Dylan Cardwell? Is that his last name?
Mhm.
Dylan Cardwell on this team? Because like I feel like him alone could have just changed the chemistry of this team.
Cardwell, I mean, I have strong feelings for Dylan Cardwell. I think the number 44 shouldn't be retired, but it should be one of those honor numbers that
Yeah.
you are picked to wear that number. I think Dylan Cardwell deserves that, first and foremost. I also think he's the truest Auburn guy that you can be. There's not a more Auburn. You can't find me a more Auburn guy than Dylan Cardwell. Um, you add a guy like that with that much heart, with that much spirit, and obviously you see what he's doing in the NBA. A guy that went undrafted, that everybody said he wouldn't be successful in the NBA, and even I had my doubts that he wouldn't translate to the NBA. You add a guy like that who's going to do whatever it takes for his team, who's going to do the dirty work, who's going to do whatever it takes to keep his team together. I think that would have changed a lot. I think you're looking at like maybe a 5-win swing just off of that alone. Not because of his play, but because he keeps the team together. He is one of those glue guys. He is the gel. And there were a lot of those games where because we didn't have chemistry and people wanted to be, like a ball hog or didn't want to pass to the next guy because they didn't like him or whatever the case may be, I think that could have changed a lot of different games. Now, obviously, that's just speculation. But I do think somebody like Dylan Cardwell completely changes the outcome of the season.
Yeah, no, I mean I agree. Look at games. I mean, even going back to Houston, how close of a game it was, and like that's a physical, grinded out game. Like, does he make the difference in that game? Obviously, games like Mississippi State, that was close. Oklahoma, that was a close loss. Um, Bama, which was a close loss at home, like having him there. Ole Miss, which was a close loss at home. Like those are swing games that just like little momentum. I feel like he was big on momentum plays. Like he made the right play at the
Mm-hmm.
right time, and then he'd do it with his hands, and the crowd would get into it. His team would get behind him. Like him just having one of those plays just could have flipped any of those games. So I agree. Like I think it could have been up to a 5-game swing, which would, I mean, let's be real, it would have been the difference between missing the tournament like you did versus not only making the tournament, but probably being a top 8 seed. And I'd probably pick Auburn to make it out of the first round if they were top 8 seed. So I think he would have made a huge difference. But that's just me out of respect for Dylan. And I mean, he's a great basketball player, but man, he teammate wise and leader wise, I mean, unmatched in college basketball over the past few years.
They don't make many Dylan Cardwells, I'll tell you that.
No, they do not. I tell you that. I agree.
But sorry for the NIT rant. I really don't have much more. I just did want to say that, I do think it makes a difference. And all Auburn fans should get behind the fact that, so what? It's not what we wanted. Suck it up. We're here. Let's be happy that we won it. Let's cheer for Auburn.
That's good advice. People should do that. Auburn fans should do that.
I know it's hard. I'm in the same shoes as everybody else. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
no, you're good. No, you're good.
I do understand it's hard, guys.
No, believe me, Anderson has had a hard year when it comes to sports. It's not been pretty. But flipping the conversation to Alabama basketball, not really a ton of news coming out of there. Aiden Sherrill entered the portal. He has not filled out the paperwork. There is some strong belief that he is coming back. I think that's good for him because I'll be honest, he's kind of, I don't want to say he's soft, but he's not, for a big, he's soft. And he fits well in Alabama's system because he can space the floor out, and that's what Alabama wants him to do instead of being big and physical. So if he comes back to Alabama, good. If he doesn't, I'm not going to be too happy. Got to replace him, so I'd be interested to see where Nate Oates goes there. Speaking of Nate Oates did get a contract extension among all the head coach openings. Every couple years now, he gets an extension and a raise. He is now a top 5 highest paid coaches in college basketball. Well, now that UNC made their hiring, he might have fallen to 6. But at the time, he was a top 5 highest paid coaches in college basketball at a football school, which I think speaks volumes that Alabama is fully investing into Nate Oates in the future there, and Nate Oates is fully bought into being at Alabama. So I think that's a really good sign. I think we both agree Nate Oates is a phenomenal head coach. Alabama will not do better than Nate Oates, so keeping him around is essential. And I think they're taking the steps in the right direction to make him happy and keep him around.
I mean, I heard old Hubert's looking for a job now.
Who?
Hubert, the guy
Hubert
that
Davis?
Yeah, the guy that UNC just fired. You don't want him?
No, sir. No, he's got no. I mean, he could be an assistant coach. I mean, that's cool.
No. Hey, you'll go find a job somewhere. Won't be at Alabama, though.
Oh, yeah. Somebody will take him. Let's hope not.
I do think that UNC hire was a good hire, though. I'm excited to see Mike Malone get his second chance. Still, we never to this day got any clarity on what even happened over there in Denver.
Yeah. I'll tell you what the rumor is. The rumor is that he just didn't really, his attitude or his personality just didn't mesh well. And if you're not winning a championship every year, which they have expectations to do so, whether they're realistic or not, when you have the best player in the world, you're going to get booted. That's just how it is in the NBA, which is why, look at JJ Redick. The guys aren't getting along with him right now, so I would be concerned for his job this offseason. That's a topic for another day, but I do like Mike Malone. I think he's a really good basketball coach. In today's college basketball and college sports in general, if you got X's and O's, if you can coach, who cares about the recruiting? UNC has plenty deep pockets and the brand to attract people. And if you can say, hey, I know how to coach basketball, we can pay you, we're going to give you a platform, we have the brand, you can come here and compete with the best of the best, they're going to get guys. So I don't know if it'll work out to the extent that UNC standards are, which is championships, right? We don't know exactly how that'll turn out, but I will say I like the hire from a standpoint of it's not a typical UNC hire. UNC kind of got the issue that Alabama had after Bear Bryant retired. every coach they hired up until Nick Saban was a Bear Bryant guy. That's just what you had to do. You had to hire a guy who coached under Bear Bryant or played under Bear Bryant. And that only worked for one, Gene Stallings. Well, UNC's done the same thing. They wanted a guy that played under Roy Williams or Dean Smith. They wanted those guys. This is the first guy that they've branched out, and I think that's a good thing. So I think it shows that they're finally just actually committing to finding the best coach available. So I don't know how far down that list he was on their target list. I have no idea who all they were interested in, who they called. Um, but overall, I don't think it's a bad hire. We will see how it works out. I think it's funny. I saw something. Um, if you're a former professional championship winning head coach who lost his job at the professional level due to personality reasons, UNC Chapel Hill might be right for you because now they're football coach and basketball coach, but football coach, we're just going to ignore that conversation. Mike Malone, I think it's a good hire.
I am excited for him. Like I said, I get that aspect, the personality aspect, but I still think Mike Malone is a good head coach. And I think he has a lot left to prove.
Oh yeah, he's not old either, so he's still got.
No,
I mean,
not at all.
he's not young, but he's got time for sure. So we'll see. We'll see just how well he can coach. I would have liked to see him be the coach this year, and coach Caleb Wilson because he's had so much time in the pros. Caleb Wilson, fantastic.
That would have been
player.
fun.
He is a pro already at his age. I mean, not excellent, but I mean he's good. He was clearly going to the NBA after 1 year, one and done, and he was going to be a lottery pick, top 10 pick. So it would have been fun to see him get coached by Mike Malone, but we won't get to see that. But I'm sure UNC has 5 stars, top prospects coming in. I wouldn't be surprised. It's UNC.
Yeah. With that being said, I guess we go on into the next point of topic, which is the NBA playoff prediction. Obviously, nothing's set in stone, and we're gonna have to predict the play-in. So, do you want to go? We predict the West play-in, then the East play-in, and go from there.
I'm down.
Would you like to go first or me?
I'll go first. I'll go first. All right. So, I'll start with the East because this is what I have pulled up right now. I think clearly the play-in's pretty set. I think the 10 teams have separated themselves. I mean, 11th place is 10 games behind 10th place. So we're just going to say we pretty much have the playoffs set for the East side. As it sits right now, the first play-in game would be the 9 and 10 between the Hornets and Miami. I do think the Hornets move up, but for this sake, we'll just keep them at 9. I think the Hornets are hot. I think they win that game. And then you'd have the 7th seed Magic and the 8th seed 76ers playing. I would think Joel Embiid, I don't know if you saw the news, appendicitis surgery today. He is out for the rest of the season. You just don't recover from that fast. So I would think that the 76ers would lose. So I'm going to go with Orlando and Charlotte taking the 7 and 8 seeds in the Eastern Conference. As for the Western Conference, Curry is back. He played really good the other night. I don't know if you got to see it. They lost, but he played really good. Once again, I think those 10 teams that have separated themselves. So I do think the Warriors do beat the Trailblazers in the 9 and 10 game. Although I think the 7 and 8, the Suns and the Clippers, I think those two teams are just too good. I think those two teams are going to advance in the playoffs. So I would say the Trailblazers and the Warriors are the ones that get eliminated from the playoffs in the Western Conference play-ins.
I'll go east to west then. The 9-10 Hornets versus Heat. This is a tough one. Like you said, the Hornets have been playing very good. Me personally, I just think they're still too young. They're not ready. And with that being said, I think the Heat win. And also, I don't think the Heat lost a play-in game yet? Like, or an elimination play-in game.
Yeah, I don't think
This is
so.
a team that's been here, done that. I think they find a way to beat the Charlotte Hornets. I just think the Charlotte Hornets would be better off losing this one. And same with the 76ers, like you said. Joel Embiid, he's out. Paul George has been hooping. Playlist P, as they starting to call him. Have you been seeing those? Absolutely hilarious.
Oh my god, I'm here for any Paul George slander. I love Paul George, but
I love PG.
Yeah, I'm a fan of PG, but I also don't mind seeing the jokes and stuff.
But I do think the Orlando Magic wins that game. And then 76ers versus the Heat. Heat, been there, done that. 76ers,
Yeah.
They're kind of just demoralized right now. I think the Heat make it in once again. And then on the other side, Trailblazers versus the Warriors. I got the Warriors. I got the Clippers moving on, and the Suns versus the Warriors. I just don't like the Suns. I just don't think, think the Warriors sneak in there.
I would love to see a Stephen Curry playoff series. We're not going to get too many more left, so soak them in while it's there.
Well,
greatness, witnessing greatness.
If they do win,
yeah,
it'll be,
if they're there,
they'll have a rough first round.
Yeah. The OKC Thunder await them, or maybe the Spurs, probably the Thunder, and that is quite the mismatch. Although everybody the Thunder plays, they make look like a mismatch. So, but it would be fun to see Shea. Just a couple years ago we were having the argument, and it was a serious argument. Shea versus Steph. Who's the best point guard in the NBA right now? Like, you'd get to see these two guys go at it head to head. A little unfair because Shea has a much better team, but I think it'd be a still. The Thunder would probably dog walk them, but I think it'd still be a fun series to watch.
Yeah, I agree. So do you want to give your first round predictions?
Yeah. So I'll start in the East again. So in the 1-8 game, I have the Detroit Pistons playing the Charlotte Hornets. I'm gonna go Detroit. I'm not gonna overthink it as much as I'm a Hornets fan. All right, they got my guy B Mill on there. They got Con Knipple. They got LaMelo. So it's a fun team to watch. But chill out. But they not beating Detroit. All right, Cade Cunningham and the fellas, they too good. They're too good. Give me Detroit. What's up?
What is the latest on Cade?
I have no idea. Let's see.
You said that, and I completely remembered that Cade has been out with a medical condition, I believe. I was looking for a pin.
He's back.
Okay.
His first game back was last night.
Okay, I did not know that. I did not see that.
He did not play good, but he is back, and that is.
It doesn't matter. They're secure. They're good. He doesn't need to play good right now. He just needs to get back in the feel of it.
Yeah. I do think the Hornets take a game though. Give me the Hornets losing 4-1, a gentleman's sweep, comfortable win. But I think the Hornets still won. For the 2-7 game, let's see, that's going to be Boston and Orlando. Moving Boston on. I feel like we had this series last year, or maybe the year before last. Orlando.
I think it was last year.
I feel like, yeah, the way this Orlando's team is set up, I feel like they're just destined to be a 6 or 7 seed every single year and lose in the first round every single year. With all due respect to Orlando, give me Boston probably in 4 or 5 games. The 3-6 game, New York and the Raptors. I'm a little biased here. Give me New York. I do want to see New York make it pretty far in the playoffs because it is incredibly entertaining when they do. I think that's a better series. I'd probably say New York probably takes it in 6. So a 4-2 series there. The 4 and the 5, Cleveland and Atlanta. Atlanta's playing really good right now, which is crazy. They're on a 2-game losing streak, but they've been playing pretty good over the past month. But I do think Cleveland just has too much. Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, Evan Mobley. Good luck. I just think they're good enough to at least make it out of the first round. So yeah, making it to the second round, I would have straight chalk all the higher seeds in the East. Not to the West. I almost forgot about the West. Or you want to do your East? Go ahead and do the East.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll probably agree with you. All chalk wins. I do think Charlotte, well, in my bracket, it wouldn't be Charlotte. I do think Miami finds a way. I think Detroit will lose a game no matter who it's to. Yeah. I think this is playoff basketball for Cleveland. Charlotte Hornets are not ready for that. I think the reason they've been hooping so much recently is ever since the deadline. That's when you find out who's trying to tank and who's trying to compete. You got a lot of guys on that Atlanta Hawk roster trying to prove their worth. So I genuinely think that's why they're hooping. And Cleveland's just going to be too much for them. Knicks versus the Raptors. Come on. Who do we think I'm going to pick? Give me the New York Knicks. And then the Boston Celtics. Arguably, this might be a better team than they were last year. They might be better with less. So give me the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, tune in for that because I feel pretty confident in the Boston Celtics. I'm going to just say that. All right.
I don't blame you.
For the 1 verse 8, yeah, I have the Thunder and the Clippers. Playoff Kawhi. I really hope the Clippers find a way to win this series because that would just be incredibly entertaining. Nothing against the Thunder. I don't care. I just want to see Kawhi hoop. We're both big fans of Kawhi. But let's be real. Give me the Thunder. Moving on. The 2 and the 7, the Suns and the Spurs. The Spurs. It is the Victor Wembanyama era officially. He has planted his flag. That is his city. That is his team. And I definitely think they're good enough to make it out of the first round. The Thunder and the Timberwolves. This, I think, will be the most entertaining series out of all the first round. We got it just a couple years ago. I think we got it a couple times in the past couple years. And it's been...
You mean the Nuggets?
Oh, yeah, the Nuggets. What'd I say? The Nuggets and the Timberwolves?
You said the Thunder and the Timberwolves.
Oh, yeah. The Nuggets and the Timberwolves will be straight cinema. Again, it has been. It's going to be great. I'm going to go crazy. I'm just going to say the Timberwolves win because I don't want straight chalk. And Anthony Edwards, he hoops in the playoffs. So give me the Timberwolves. Why not? The fun pick. The Lakers and the Rockets. Luka, LeBron. Is Luka's hamstring going to be fully healthy? LeBron at his age. How's that going to... the way this Lakers team is, like, if they're all healthy, like, seriously, they're contenders to go to the Western Conference Finals. If they are not all healthy, they just lose in the first round to the Rockets. On the Rockets side, they have played up at times this season, and then they have played down where they don't play like a team. It's just every man out there for himself. I'm going to trust that Luka is going to be back, and I'm going to trust Luka is going to win the playoff series. So give me the Lakers moving on versus the Rockets. But I think that's another entertaining series. Possibly go into 7 games.
I'm not mad at you. I think the 1 versus 8, the OKC Thunder versus the Warriors. I just don't think the Warriors have enough. It's OKC. They have everything. Give me Oklahoma City Thunder. Spurs versus Clippers. I'm with you. I love playoff Kawhi. I love Kawhi. I made it very known on this show that I think Kawhi is one of the, best players to ever pick up a basketball talent-wise. But this Spurs team is just so good from top to bottom. They have the experience. They also have youth, but they have the experience to, that have been there. So we will see what happens there. I think it's the Spurs in 6. The Lakers versus the Rockets. I just don't like the way the Rockets are meshing right now. I think everything's falling apart. It has been since everything with KD came out around All-Star break. Ime Udoka has been very frustrated as of recently with his team. And I just think it all falls apart. I think they need to, reset the whole KD thing. I think anybody who's buying into KD at this point in time, you should know he's not the leader. You don't want him. I think they should trade Alperen Şengün. He's obviously not listening to what he's being told by his coaching staff. So I do think it's time for a minor setback for the Rockets. Will they do it? Who knows? And then the 3 versus 6 seed, Ant versus Jokic. Last time we saw it, Ant won. I think Jokic is too good. I don't think he's going to sweep Jokic back, or not sweep him in a series, but I don't think he's going to go 2-0 against him in the playoffs. I think Jokic gets his revenge against Anthony Edwards, but I think it will be a fantastic series.
Yeah, I mean, with the Rockets, I agree. I think it is time to take a step back. It was a fun experiment. I just don't think it's worked out quite as well as they've hoped.
Look, I'm a KD hater, bro. He's one of the best scorers we've ever seen. Teams have to stop trying to make him the number one. It has been proven he cannot be the number one. Stop trying to make it happen.
Play style wise, he's got it.
He's fantastic.
It's leadership.
Right, he can't do it.
And that'll probably be his legacy, unfortunately. Hey, he was a great scorer, but that'll be his legacy. All right, for the second round, starting in the East, Detroit and Cleveland. This is tough, but I'm going to go Detroit. They've been the best team in the East all year long. The thing that concerns me with Detroit, to be honest, is the lack of shooting. They're not the best three-point shooting team, but you can win. You live or die by the three, and they don't live or die by the three. So to me, that makes me trust them a little bit more. But man, if the Cavs just get hot, Detroit doesn't stand a chance. They're not going to outshoot them. Who else other than Cade is going to step up and make plays? They have a lot of guys that can do it. The question is one of those guys going to do it? But I'm going to trust Detroit. I'm going to trust Cade. I think they advance to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think they play Boston. I'm sorry. I just think Boston's playing too good right now. I think Boston is really good. Having Jason Tatum back, they were already playing good without him. I think having him back just brings the extra morale. Also, I do think his name is blanking on me now. What is their coach's name?
Joe Mazzulla.
Joe Mazzulla. I do think he is the best coach in the NBA, and I think he is not going to take this opportunity for this run for granted, and so I think he coaches his tail off, and I think the Boston Celtics win in what will be an incredible series. It always is, Boston versus New York. It's going to be excellent to watch, but I think Boston wins in 6 or 7 games. It's going to go down to the end.
Yeah, I agree with you on the Detroit Pistons. They've been a really good team all year. I thought they were dangerous last year. They're even better this year. My only doubt with Detroit is if Cade isn't feeling good, they're going to struggle because he is the offense. You don't really have a number 2 that can run the offense the way Cade Cunningham runs it. You have guys that can score, but you can't run the offense efficiently without Cade Cunningham. I think that's something they'll improve this offseason, but I do think that they still beat Cleveland. And then on the other side, Knicks versus Boston. Look, to be honest with you, I don't know. I don't know who's going to win. I think this is a 7-game series regardless. I think this series goes 7 games, no matter who wins. And with me not knowing who I think wins, I'm gonna lead towards biasy, bro. Yeah. I gotta give the New York Knicks the edge. From top to bottom, I think they have the better roster. Joe Mazzulla is obviously the better coach. But I think the depth is better. I think the roster overall is better for New York. And just for that simple reason, and the fact that I'm a fan, I'm going to say that New York wins in 7.
Yeah, no, I figured you would. I considered it. I strongly considered it. All right, over in the Western Conference, we have the 1 versus the 4, so the OKC versus LA. I think it's OKC. Um, Mainly because, I mean, look, LeBron's age, which brings in health concerns, Luka's health concerns. Um, I'm sure you've seen the clips of players going at it with JJ on the sideline. And although that's not LeBron and Luka, that's you still need those guys to be playing the best of their ability. One thing about OKC is they have their crap together. They love each other, they love their coach, they love the fans, they love the city, and I think that is just that's too much. So give me the Thunder. I think fairly comfortably, 5 or 6, I would say. Now for the Spurs and the Timberwolves. This is where it gets controversial. I'm going to go the Timberwolves. I think there's been a lot of talk about foreign players versus American-born players, how foreign players have kind of taken a reign, and yada, yada, yada. You know, you've seen the conversations. I think it's a huge point of emphasis specifically for Ant that he wants to be the guy that he wants to submit his flag and say, nah, like, I'm here, America's here. Like, and Victor's young. This is his first, this would be the biggest playoff series ever for him, clearly. So I think they struggle. So I'm going to go kind of similar to how OKC did the first year. They had the 1 seed, and they didn't make it to the championship. They lost to the Mavs, I believe. I think now's not their time. The future is their time. The Spurs are going to win a championship with Victor Wembanyama. I believe that. Now's not their time. Give me the Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards is going to make a statement. So give me OKC versus the Timberwolves in the Western Conference Finals.
I agree with you on the Spurs. I just think they're not ready yet. Not because they need to add anything more. They just need more experience. Except for my team is the Nuggets. So I have the Nuggets moving on to the Western Conference Finals. And on the other side, OKC versus the LA Lakers. OKC sailed the 7 seas. KD has 2 fake rings. Lakers in 6. In all seriousness, I think Luka's been playing at an MVP level this year.
Yeah, he has.
I think Luka has a point to prove. There are times that he has been a shot chucker for the last 2 years. He is going to be locked in. I'm telling you, when we saw it in Dallas, it was crazy. It was something different. It's some of the best basketball I've ever seen with my own 2 eyes. And I think Luka Doncic is mad. He's a divorced guy. The reasons why, we won't get into that. But he's in an emotional bad place. And ever since he's been hooping, he's gotten hurt. He will be fine. I'm telling you, he'll be fine. I know LeBron's age is worrisome. It's playoff LeBron. He's going to do what it takes to win. I'm not saying he's going to drop 40. He might not even drop 25. But I think he's going to make the right plays to win. Austin Reeves has had his best year for obvious reasons. DeAndre Ayton has learned to take his role as Clint Capella, as he likes to say. He's learned to play that role. And I just think OKC underestimates LA. I think the main reason that LA finds a way to win this series is Luka Doncic has a point to prove. I love SGA. We're both fans of SGA. We're not a part of the SGA haters. But I just think Luka Doncic has to have a career-defining moment, and this might be one of them. And so does JJ Redick. Like you said, there's a lot of speculation going on over there, and that seat gets hot really quickly in the NBA. So JJ Redick might be on the hot seat. Luka Doncic needs a career-defining moment, and I think that's right here, right now.
Yeah, I like it. I would not mind to see Luka make another run in the playoffs. Luka, when he does make runs in the playoffs, think bubble, think a couple years ago. Like, it's been incredibly entertaining, and it has been some of the best basketball we have seen. So I'm here for it. I'm here for it. All right. In the Eastern Conference Finals, Boston, Detroit. Give me Boston. All right, I kind of teased it. I think this Boston team's going to play really good. I think they make it to the finals. Flipping down to the West, I'll just go ahead and say the West. I think, give me the Thunder. Thunder versus Timberwolves, give me the Thunder. I think they're just too good. I don't see any glaring weaknesses, and I think this is where the Thunder just kind of meet their, or not the Thunder, the Timberwolves just kind of meet their match. So in the championship, Boston versus OKC, the last two champions playing against each other.
And in my bracket, I got Detroit versus New York. This Detroit team is very similar to the Detroit team that we saw last year. Obviously, it's not the exact same, but it's very similar. In fact, I think overall the team's worse. They just have more experience. And the Knicks took them out in 6 last year. I think this is a better team for the New York Knicks than they were last year. I think they do a very similar thing. I just don't think Cade has enough help over there. Who would have thought that I had the New York Knicks going to the NBA championship? But I think the Knicks go. And what do you know on the other side of the bracket? The Nuggets versus the Lakers. The LaGlazer over here. The Nuggets have gotten the best of the Lakers and LeBron too many times. I've said Luka Doncic is here to prove a point, and I don't think he stops here. And Nikola Jokic. I think they take down the Denver Nuggets. I just don't think that the Denver Nuggets have the same depth that they once had. If they had that depth, no questions asked, the Nuggets are going to be there. But they don't have that anymore. They're too dependent on Jamal Murray to be consistent. And can he be in the playoffs? Yes, he's one of the best playoff risers I've ever seen in my life. But at some point, it has to come to an end. He's going to find a slump. And I think it's right here, right now, against the Los Angeles Lakers. And who would have thought? Me picking my favorite player of all time and my favorite team in the NBA Finals. Who would have thought that I would have done that? I didn't know until just now that I would do that.
Shocker. I'm shocked. I'm at a loss of words. Yeah, no. Would be an entertaining series, LA versus New York. Who would you cheer for?
That would be the toughest series of my entire life.
On one hand, LeBron gets his 5th ring. On the other hand, New York finally wins a ring. So
I'm going to sit back and smile at every game. That's what I'm going to do.
Fair enough. Hope for good games. Hope for a Game 7, good games all the way through.
I wouldn't care who won. No. I'm just happy to live the experience.
Facts. All right, for my championship, Boston Thunder. Give me the Thunder. Thunder in 6. I just think I think they go back to back. I know I don't like picking back-to-back champions. I hate picking back-to-back champions, actually. That is one of my least favorite things to do when I'm predicting. But I'll be honest, I don't see, like, this Thunder team, when they turn it up a notch, I don't see anybody beating them until somebody proves that they can beat them. So give me the Thunder in 6 over the Boston Celtics.
Look, I just want to address the podcast right here, right now. I know my bracket looks biased. It might be a little bit biased for the Knicks, right? But this is all gut feeling, okay? I'm just going off gut feeling. And right here, I'm going to be as unbiased as I have been because it's my favorite player and my favorite team. So I have to be unbiased. If the LA Lakers and the New York Knicks play, they both so happen to be the 2 biggest markets in the NBA. So why wouldn't this happen? The NBA is rigged anyways. Why wouldn't it? But in all seriousness, the Knicks are gonna nick. They're gonna get to the promised land. They might even go up 2-0. And they're gonna find a way to lose it all. I've watched the Knicks for too long to know what they're gonna do. If somehow, some way, Luka Doncic is this determined to get to the NBA Finals, which I think he can be, I wouldn't pick him if I didn't think he could. There's no way the New York Knicks of all teams is going to be the one to stop Luka Doncic. I'm just being honest. I hate to say it as a Knicks fan, but I just think Luka, as of recently, he's been hot at the right time. He's peaking this year. He looks like the Luka of old. He looks happy. He looks like he's a hooper again. He looks like the Luka that we knew that got Dallas to the finals in the first place. And guess what? His defense has gotten better since then. I'm not saying it's great. I'm not saying it's perfect, but it's been 10 times better than it was the year that they went to the finals. And if Luka Doncic is still as on fire as he was, and they make it all the way to the finals and have to face off against the New York Knicks, you think Karl Anthony Towns is going to step in his way? Let's be real. As a New York Knicks fan, no. He's not stepping in his way. I would just be happy that the Knicks made it to the finals. I would have the LA Lakers winning in 6. Luka Doncic is your finals MVP, and LeBron retires in the offseason.
Oh.
Storybook ending for my GOAT.
It would be. You know, I agree. I think if LA does win, I think LeBron retires. I think that's.
I mean, why wouldn't he? The All-Star game was in LA. He just came off of Team USA winning MVP there. This was the end of his contract. This was year 23.
You get your championship. It would make a lot of sense. So that would be an interesting storyline, and that'd be an insane way to end it. To cap off a career, the second half of a career, like with the greatest debate in all of sports. Like for it to end that way would make that debate even more interesting, which I'm all for.
You know what they would say? He got carried by Luka. Right.
Look. In all seriousness, though, the playoffs hasn't happened yet. Who knows how that would go? There is a real possibility he gets carried by Luka, which would make the conversation interesting.
If the Lakers have any chance, if LeBron has any chance, Luka has to carry. As a Glazer, Luka's gonna have to carry.
Question is the scoring centered around Luka, and is the playmaking centered around LeBron? Like, is the brains of the operation LeBron? Which I think if the Lakers were to win, I think it would have to be. And I think at 40, whatever years old LeBron is, in year 23, just him being a solid piece on a championship team would be enough. Like, it would not demote him in any way. It would be an incredibly impressive accomplishment. So, but you know what the conversations would be. I don't know. And I'm a Jordan guy, and I can tell you what the conversations would be. And I for sure would partake in them jokingly, but I would definitely bring that up. I'd be like, nah, the 5th ring, it don't count. It don't count. He got carried. You best believe I'd be saying it. You best believe.
Oh man, I don't even want to think about that debate right now.
He better not flop in the finals either. If he flops one time in the finals, it's over with. It's over. Ball game.
That is still hilarious. In all seriousness, I think that would be, obviously for me, that would be the most fun I've ever had watching the NBA Finals. For obvious reasons. Well, no, I'm lying. 3-1 comeback is obviously the greatest thing I will ever see in my life.
Yeah, that's one of the greatest accomplishments in the history of the NBA. So, in the history of sports, insane.
That is crazy to this day.
But, yeah, and that'll never lose its value. I think that'll always be valued as incredibly impressive. Like Dirk's championship will never lose its value.
No, no.
LeBron's 3-1 comeback never loses value. It's incredibly impressive.
I want to know if we agree. I think the 3-1 comeback is the greatest NBA championship of all time.
I think it's the greatest finals. I think run-wise, I think Dirk still has it, like throughout the whole series.
Oh, I'm talking about just the finals.
For just the finals, yes. Okay, the only 3-1 comeback against the 73-9 Warriors, MVP Steph.
Hey, there are some delusional people out there. I just needed to make sure we're on the same level.
Well, hey, look. There's a smallest asterisk beside it because Draymond Green couldn't keep his feet to himself. But
I mean,
at the end of the day, still incredibly impressive.
You could say Curry couldn't keep his mouthpiece in, and that's the reason they lost.
That's a good point. They could say Andre Iguodala didn't just dunk the ball at 6 foot whatever.
The thing is, all of those things happened.
There's always asterisks. So I'm just saying what the conversation would be. That's what it would be. But I think the majority of people say that the 3-1 comeback might be the most impressive
I
final
do.
series.
I
if
do
not the
think
most.
Dirk's is the second greatest.
Yeah, I think the run, like the whole playoff series,
That's
like,
insane.
Dirk's got it.
That's insane. Kobe, LeBron. Who else did he take down? He took down another crazy
Kobe,
team.
LeBron, was it the Celtics? Did he take down the Celtics?
No, they're on the West. Who?
Oh yeah, you're right.
They played Lakers in the second round. Who was that first round matchup for them? Let me look that up.
Was it the early stage of the Lob City Clippers?
I think that still would have been too early. Dallas Mavericks.
You're right.
Let's see. Take down the Trailblazers, Lakers, the Thunder. The Young Thunder.
Yeah, the early, yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. And then they beat LeBron in the finals. Yeah, that was impressive.
Crazy.
LeBron, D-Wade, Chris Bosh. Insane run. Insane.
Yeah, that is the biggest argument against my GOATs accolades, which is fair in all ways. Can't even argue.
Yeah.
There's no excuse. And he played terrible. He played terrible that finals. So there is no excuse.
Yeah.
How long have we been on?
Hey, shout out Dirk, man. I'm glad Dirk.
Shout out Dirk. Yeah, of course. We really haven't been on too long. You want to talk about Rookie of the Year?
Yeah, let's do it.
I know if I had a vote, who I would be voting for. Would we agree? My vote would be going to Cooper Flagg.
My vote would be going to Cooper Flagg. I was already leaning Coop, but recently he did pass him in points per game, which was the only thing that Con had over him, and Coop has surpassed.
I think Con has steals.
Oh, okay.
Con either has steals or blocks, but it's like by 0.1.
Yeah, it's like super close. So I would say like it was tough when Con was averaging more points, but Con's not even really taking a back seat. Like he's went down like a point, but Cooper has added like 3 points per game to his total over the past couple months. So I would vote Cooper Flagg, just all around the better player, I think. I see it with my own eyes. He is incredible.
Now don't get this twisted, chat. I love Con Knipple. I think he's a fantastic player. I think he's done tremendous things for the Charlotte Hornets. I want this to be said. I don't think record should matter when it comes to Rookie of the Year. For the simple reason, if it's the number one overall pick, how do you think the team with the number one overall pick got the number one overall pick? Because they stunk. That's why. So I don't think record matters. I think that's the main thing for Con Knipple is look at what he's doing for the Charlotte Hornets. And don't get me wrong. He's doing tremendous things for them. But you also have to think this is a young team who's been bad for many years, who have been farming these lottery picks, getting prospects like Brandon Williams, who I hate to say it, is a really good NBA player. You got guys like LaMelo Ball, who's a really good NBA player. You now have Con Knipple, who's seemingly a really good NBA player. They're just doing their job in drafting because they stink. I think that's the main argument for why Con Knipple should win. Let me tell you, Cooper Flagg is in all 5 statistical categories leading rookies. He's in top 5 for every single statistical category. He leads the Dallas Mavericks in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks. He's the leader. He leads that team in everything. So what are we debating? I understand Con Knipple is extremely good. We've never seen a rookie shoot at this clip from 3. Never seen it. It's crazy. Cooper Flagg through and through is the best player. Let's be real.
Yeah.
I think if it's not Cooper Flagg, it's straight up blasphemous. I don't understand how it wouldn't be Cooper Flagg. The kid averages 8 points Six
21.8, yeah.
6.8 rebounds and 5.4 assists, something like that. This is LeBron numbers. Rookie Bron numbers. And we saw how that turned out. I'm not saying Cooper Flag is the next LeBron. That's not what I'm saying at all. But look at this. Look at what the kid's doing.
Yeah.
And since I brought up LeBron, you go back to LeBron and Melo, it's very similar. It's very similar.
Yeah.
And I to this day, don't understand how it was on LeBron. So
yeah, I think it's gonna be Cooper. And I agree with you. Record should not play a part because, how did you get the number 1 overall pick? Specifically, how did the Dallas Mavericks get the number 1 overall pick? Well, you traded probably the most skilled player in the history of the NBA, and that's how you got Cooper Flag. But because after you traded him, you sucked because Kyrie's hurt. Yeah, Cooper leads the NBA team at 18 years old as a rookie in all the major statistical categories and is top 5 in every statistical category among rookies. It's impressive. He deserves it. Cooper, fantastic season. Con, fantastic season. He deserves his flowers, but his flowers aren't the Rookie of the Year award. That belongs to Cooper, in my opinion.
I've seen someone suggest that they should do the first ever Rookie of the Year. I disagree.
I've been a big fan of the co stuff.
I've only considered that one time in any sport award ever, and that was the Ashton Genty and Travis Hunter Heisman.
Oh, yeah.
That, to me, would have been completely valid because you have a running back breaking records that we never thought would be broken, and then you have a guy playing both sides of the ball at a very high level, right?
Yeah.
They didn't do it. Right, so if they didn't do it there in something that they were both breaking history, why would they do it here for an NBA Rookie of the Year? I don't think we don't give out participation trophies. There isn't ties. There's an obvious answer, and if it's anything other than Cooper Flag, I'm going to crash out on the podcast.
Con Knippel's award for his amazing season will be he gets to play postseason basketball. Cooper Flag will not. He will be off to Cancun nice and early on. He will beat the rush hour traffic. But he will have his nice trophy to go with him. But fantastic season for both of them, but it's got to be Cooper. I understood the argument when Con was leading him in points. That's not the case anymore. Cooper has passed him. Cooper, I think, has cemented his flag like he's earned it.
And at first, in the first half of the season, there was a very legitimate argument because Cooper Flag did have a slow start. But ever since All-Star break, Cooper Flag has been by far the best rookie, and he's never turned back, in my opinion. I mean, like I said, at first he did start slow. Started pretty inefficient. Don't look at his 3-point percentage right now. But he shoots, I think, above 44% from the field. And knowing, let me look it up just to fact check. But knowing the amount of shots that he has to take for the Dallas Mavericks, I think that's pretty good.
It is impressive because he is the guy already. And it doesn't matter. He's 18. Like, he came into college early. He's in the NBA early. Like, it's impressive. He's supposed to be a freshman in college.
So his official stats are 21 on the dot, 6.7 rebounds, and 4.6 assists, and he shoots 46.7% from the field.
Insane for a rookie. Insane.
It really is.
Yeah.
You don't see stuff like that. He's shooting 29% from 3, but he is also shooting 82% from the free throw line. 0.9 blocks per game and 1.2 steals per game. which
But
is
his
crazy.
3-point percentage will go up as time goes on. The 3-point line, is extended, and he's never been known to be an excellent 3-point shooter. That's going to go up. I guarantee by the end of his career, he's probably shooting around 35%, which for his skill set is going to be solid. So that's not a concern. I don't think that should have anything to do with this award.
No, I don't think it should either. He's not shooting them anywhere near as much as others. The Knicks are in a close game right now, so I'm just trying to turn that on. Sorry, chat. But no, I think far and away we should know who the better rookie is by now.
You would think so.
Especially after he dropped 51 one night and 2 nights later dropped 45. I think to me that should seal it. But guess who the Knicks are playing? What do you know? They're playing the Boston Celtics. It's a 92-90 game. 6 minutes left to go.
See, I guess got it turned on.
But I don't have much more after that.
No, I think it's been that's a good conversation, but honestly, I feel like we're having the conversation a little late. We should have had it a couple months ago, because I think in the past couple months, Cooper has for sure just grabbed it by the reins and he's taken it. It's his now. I firmly believe that.
You know, I have a bold prediction. I don't think the Rookie of the Year should go to either of those guys. Should go to the needle mover of all needle movers. Dylan Carwell, bro. Who else would it go to?
Yeah, you know what? They should have a separate award just for him for being the only entertaining thing about the least entertaining franchise in the NBA.
You know what I think is the best part about it is he's on the same team with Russell Westbrook. He is literally just a center version of Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
When it comes to energy.
Russ in his prime playing with Dylan Carr. Oh my god.
That would be extremely fun to watch. Oh yeah. The energy would be through the roof.
And then who's a super high energy coach that would just be hilarious to see on the sidelines with him?
Ooh.
Who?
I blanked.
Oh. I was thinking, even think of a guy like Tibbs. Tibbs is super laid back, but he's go, 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 go. He doesn't sub. He just hard-nosed basketball. What you got?
Greg Popovich.
Oh, Greg Pop with those two guys?
He wouldn't contain himself, bro. He wouldn't know what to do.
The refs would not know what to do.
I know he doesn't coach basketball, but give me Andy Reid, bro. Get Andy Reid on that sideline. That'd be fun.
Imagine Nick Saban on that sideline. Holy
he would lose his mind, I'll tell you that.
Oh my god.
All that celebrating.
The energy that would be going through that building. Holy crap. It would be insane.
I think that the just based off their energy alone, the building itself would be looking like it was off of steroids. The energy would raise the bar of the entire building.
Yes, they would have to play in open air NFL arenas, NFL stadiums, just so they can't contain it. They just gotta let it out and just hope it's not raining.
I will say, I do have a mini game I want us to try on stream one day. I think it's called Stat Patter. I don't know if you've heard of it, but you go on this website and you can choose between all sports. So say you wanted to do NBA, it will give you a category. So say points per game. And it'll give you these certain prompts that you have to stay in the lines of. So for example, we're going to use OKC from 2010 to 2018. So you have to pick a player who averaged the most points per game from anytime, any season from 2010 to 2018, and you have to search that player and that exact season. So, like, for example, you could put in 2016 Russell Westbrook. That's the year he won the MVP, right?
Yeah,
I believe.
something like that.
So
16 or 17.
you would have to go in. You have to click that exact year that you want that player from. So
Right.
it could be that year is the best, or it could be outside of the top 5. And I think your goal is to get the highest percentile.
Okay.
But it's to me it looks really fun. I'll send you a video of it, and we're gonna set that up on stream. I guess what we can do is I can stream my screen to the Discord, and we can just cooperate on a stat pad.
Alright,
So we
that
can
sounds
set
fun.
one of
Yeah,
those up.
Send me a video if you see one.
Do you watch King of the Fourth Quarter?
Oh yeah,
Kenny
of
Beecham?
course.
He's played it.
Kenny
So
Beecham.
I'll send you
Okay.
some Kenny Beecham clips.
Yeah. I love Kenny.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't love Kenny? But with that being said, I will say we did have a question from Elijah in the chat. He said, "Who's y'all's favorite teams for the NBA?" I'm a New York Knicks fan. I'm an Auburn fan, all college, and the NFL. Not really a specific guy, but I do go for the Buccaneers.
Yeah, for me, I'm an Alabama fan in college. For the NFL, I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and for the NBA, I'm a free agent. I don't have a favorite team. I just like watching good basketball. So maybe one day I'll decide to stick to a team.
So did you just like not have any like pull for anybody?
I like players. So like
I'm a player guy too.
anytime,
I understand.
anytime Steph's playing, I like something about watching Steph Curry play basketball. I appreciate it so much. I like seeing him win. I like seeing LeBron James win because I appreciate everything about LeBron James. I like seeing New York do good because like the environment, the fans, Madison Square Garden, the mecca of basketball is what they call it. Big fan of that. I just appreciate good basketball. I said, actually, I got you. I'm a Charlotte Hornets fan. I said it earlier. I'm a Charlotte Hornets fan. No expectation of winning, but they're fun to watch. Give me Brandon Miller. Give me LaMelo Ball, not Carmelo.
I think your
Carmelo is the real Melo.
I think your mic cut out when you was telling us your favorite team. I didn't quite hear that right.
The Charlotte.
Oh, I didn't hear it. I heard it right. All right. Whew.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, that's
I
what
just
you
like
choose.
Good fun basketball. That's all I care. That's all I care about.
Hey.
And I like Joe Mazzulla. I'm a big Joe Mazzulla fan. Not really a big Boston fan, but I do like Joe Mazzulla. I like what he's about. He's just all ball, no funky business, but he's hilarious at the same time.
You know, I like your answer over some of my friends. I literally have friends that hate the New York Knicks just because I'm a New York Knicks fan. So
I don't
hey.
understand that.
No, I understand. But like I just thought that I would put that out there.
Fair enough.
Close game with 4 minutes left to go, and what are we doing? Josh Hart's taking threes. All right, bro. I see how serious we are.
That's not down.
Woo! All right, bro. I think that's where I think this is where we need to head on out of here. I'm gonna focus on this game for the last 3.5 minutes. We will see y'all in the next one. I think what we should do is we should do one more next week, and then we can start our every other week. And next week we should do our NBA mock draft. How do you feel about that? Now that the NCAA season is over.
Yeah, I agree. We should start getting to that.
All right. So next week will be our last weekly, and then for the rest of the off season, we'll do every other week. We might throw in a couple more consistent ones just for the playoffs, the NBA playoffs, but we'll figure that out as we go. But for now, we appreciate you guys for watching, and unless something crazy happens, we'll see you guys in a few short days on Monday. I know our schedule's been a little rocky, but it's okay. We've been doing good. So we will see you at some point next week. We appreciate you for tuning in, listening, watching, however, whenever. And we will see you guys next time.